everyone, this is Sarah and welcome to my crochet channel. Today's video I'm going to show you how to make this cute and adorable coaster. Now it measures about 4 inches wide and about 5 inches long, so it's not real big, but it's also just a little bit bigger than other size coasters. And I like it this way. That way when you put your coffee cup or whatever cup you're using, you can still see the shape of the heart around it. And it also makes a nice little doily to put maybe a candy dish or a candle on for your Valentine's celebration party. Now this is a free crochet pattern on my blog, and you can find that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. So what you're going to need to make a heart coaster is some yarn. And the yarn that I used on the original coaster was called Red Heart Shimmer, and you can see that it is a sparkly, shimmery yarn. Unfortunately, that yarn is no longer available. And so what I'm going to be using today is just regular Red Heart Super Saver. And you can use any worsted weight number 4 yarns that you want to. And you can even use cotton, like I love this cotton, or some of the other brands that make a cotton yarn. If you're going to be putting this with cold drinks, cotton might be a good alternative. I'm using white, red, and pink for today's demonstration. We're going to be stitching today with an H hook, 5.0 millimeter crochet hook. You'll need a needle for weaving in those ends, and of course you'll need your scissors. I'm going to be starting with my pink yarn. My heart in the center is going to be pink, and then I'm going to use red where this one is purple, and then I'll finish up with white for the lacy edge. All right, we're going to begin with a chain 5. Our first 3 chains will count as 1 double crochet, and then we'll double crochet 2 times in the 4th chain. And then we'll chain 2. So our chain 3 counted as 1 double crochet, and we stitched 2 double crochets, chain 2. And now we're going to stitch 3 sets of 3 double crochet, chain 2. So we'll go right in that same stitch, same chain, 1, 2, 3, and chain 2. 1, 2, 3, and chain 2, and then 1 more set of 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and chain 2. So now we have 4 sets, 1, 2, 3, 4 of 3 double crochets, chain 2. We're going to join to the top of our chain 3 with a slip stitch, and then we're going to slip stitch in those 2 double crochets, and then we'll slip stitch in the chain 2 space and chain 3. And that's the way row 1 should look. Now, what I like to do before I go any farther is turn this over, grab my needle, and go ahead and take care of this string. And also I want to close this up a little bit, so I'm going to go around those stitches there we go, back to where we started, Give it a little bit of a tug, and then we'll tie that off. And I'm just turning and going back the other direction. And just clipping that off. Now you can wait till you're all done with your coaster if you want to take care of that string. I just like to go ahead and get it out of the way. And that's the way that row 1 should look. For row 2, our chain 3 here counts as our first double crochet. We're going to stitch 2 more, 1 and 2 in that same chain 2 space. Then we're going to chain 2. Then we're going to stitch 3 more double crochets in that same chain 2 space. And chain 2. So we've stitched 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets because our chain 3 here counted as our first double crochet. Alright, so now we'll go to the next chain 2 space. We'll stitch 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. Okay, so I'm going to repeat this on these last 2 chain 2 spaces. I'll stitch 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. Whoops. 1, 2, 3. Don't want to put 4 in there. Chain 2 and 3 double crochets. Now we're to our last chain 2 space. There we go. Alrighty. Chain 2, and we'll join to the top of that chain 3. There we go. And slip stitch. So now we have basically the first 2 rows of a basic granny square. 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, all the way around those 4 corners. And now it's time to make the little bumps for our heart. We join to that chain 3. We're going to slip stitch in those next 2 double crochets and then slip stitch in the chain 2 space and chain 2. Now we're going to move to this next chain 2 space, and we're going to stitch 7 double crochets. 3, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 1 more for 7. And that's going to form the first little hump or bump on our heart. We're going to chain 2, and we're going to just single crochet in that corner. And then chain 2, and we're going to put 7 double crochets in this chain 2 space. There's 2. Get some more yarn out here. 4. There's 6, and one more makes 7. And so you can see how it's starting to form the heart. Here's our first bump, or hump, heart hump. Then we did a single crochet in the center, chain 2 on the sides, and then we did 7 here. Okay, whoops. Now we're going to chain 2, and we're going to slip stitch in that next chain 2 space, and we're going to tie off. Cut my yarn and tie that off. So now we have the little center of our heart coaster. I'm going to go ahead and weave in this end. And again, you can wait until after you're done with the rest of the coaster if you want to. I just like to take care of it and just get it out of the way. So I'm just going to go to the back and pull it to the back and weave it in, going through some stitches. There we go. And now I don't have to worry about that piece either. To put the next row on, we're going to turn this over and go down in the point of our heart and join our red, or our next color, whatever color that you're using. I chained 3. I'm going to place 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. Okay, so there's our corner. 3 double crochets because our chain 3 counts as 1, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. We're going to chain 2, and we're going to go to this next chain 2 space and just stitch 3 double crochets. Then we'll chain 2, and we'll go to the next chain 2 space. Now, the next chain 2 space is right here where we joined with our slip stitch. All right, so we'll go right in there and stitch 3 double crochets. And chain 2. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the 4th double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4th, and that's the center of those 7 double crochets, and we're going to stitch 6 double crochets right in that 4th double crochet stitch. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need one more. See how that works? In the 4th double crochet of this row, we stitched 6 double crochets. We're going to chain 2. The next thing we're going to do, we chain 2, and then we're going to stitch what's called a long single crochet. Let me show you on this one. We stitched a single crochet, but we went all the way around that stitch where we did that corner. All right, let me show you how we do that. Instead of going in the single crochet here, we're going to put our hook down here and pull the thread through, or the yarn I mean, and just stitch a single crochet and then chain 2. And that just helps with the shape of the heart. All right. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, we chain 2, and we're going to repeat over here what we did on this side. So we're going to go to the 4th double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the 4th double crochet, we're going to stitch 6 double crochet stitches. So after we've done those 6 double crochets, we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to come down here to this chain 2 space and stitch 3 double crochets. Chain 2. We stitch those 2 chains, and now we're going to stitch 3 double crochets in this next chain 2 space. Chain 2 and join to the top of the chain 3. Then we'll just slip stitch in those next 2 double crochets and then slip stitch to the corner and chain 1. Alright, so let's turn it around here. And you can see it might be a little puckery, but this next row is going to help it to lay nice and flat. We're still using our second color, and what we're going to do is we're going to stitch a single crochet in each double crochet and 2 single crochets in each chain 2 space. So we're starting down here, and we're going to stitch 2 single crochets, chain 2, and 2 single crochets down in that corner. Then we're going to stitch 1 single crochet in these next 3 double crochets, and then 2 single crochets in the chain 2 space. And that's what we'll do all the way around. A single crochet in each double crochet and 2 single crochets in each of the chain 2 spaces. And you'll notice that this is going to help your heart shape hold its shape better. I'm just going to continue on around stitching my single crochets in each double crochet and 2 single crochets in each of the chain 2 spaces. And when you get to the single crochet, we just stitch 1 single crochet in the single crochet. I single crocheted all the way around, and now I'm going to join to the first single crochet on this row, and I've already cut my yarn. I'm going to bring in my white. There we go. And again, I'll have some more of those ends to weave in. So I'm going to single crochet in those 2 single crochets. There we go. And that brings us to that chain 2 space. And so we're going to single crochet 2 times. We're going to chain 2 and single crochet 2 times in that chain 2 space. And that just keeps the shape of our corner for the point of our heart. And then we're just going to work up the side and down around, stitching 1 single crochet in each single crochet around. One single crochet in each single crochet all the way around the heart. Alright, so we've single crocheted around in the white. We're joining to the first single crochet, and now we're going to do the lacy trim. And the way we do that is we're just going to chain 3, skip the next stitch, and slip stitch in the next. Chain 3, skip the next stitch, and slip stitch in the next. And we'll do this all the way around the whole heart. Now, if you don't want your heart to have that lacy trim, you don't have to do it. If you'd rather it just be a heart without a trim or without the lacy trim, that works nice too for a coaster. I just sort of like this lacy trim worked all the way around the edge. It just makes it so pretty. So I'm going to continue on around, stitching chain 3, skip the next stitch, and slip stitch in the next. Chain 3, skip the next, slip stitch in the next. Working all the way around my heart. I've completed stitching the lacy trim around, and I really love it. Tie that off. And we'll just pull that to the back for now, because you know I have a couple of ends to weave in here. But this is the heart, and if you notice that your heart is not laying as flat as you would like it, you can always do the spray block method where you lay it out, spray it, and lay it flat. You can pin it to a board. But I found once I get the lacy edge on, it seems like it lays nice and flat. It's just, I don't know why, it just seems to add that extra oomph that it needs. And that's how easy it is to make our coasters shaped like a heart. And they're perfect for Valentine parties or weddings or showers or just whatever you want to use them for.